Welcome to the Tech Today podcast. It's your host, John Mayetta. The folks at YouTube took down our recent post of the interview or the Q&A session that former Google CEO Eric Schmidt recently did at Stanford University. And so if you want access to that video, we have it over at our Tech Today page, which you can see here. And we have also posted it to our Twitter page here. In terms of the content, so I guess it was what, a 45-minute video. The first few minutes, I think were kind of was the section that had the key takeaways for me, and that was around agentic AI. And Eric Schmidt is very bullish on the time horizon for agentic AI. You know, he didn't give a date. Nobody knows a specific date, but his quote was soon, very soon. Soon, very soon, we will have agentic AI, whereby AI agents are capable of taking action and completing large, tranches of work, whether it's producing code. One of the examples he gave, which was, sort of mind-blowing, and we'll get there someday. I just don't believe it's around the corner. But he gave the example, if TikTok, for example, were to get banned by the US, you would be able to use an AI agent to replicate TikTok and to do so in 30 seconds. And to keep replicating TikTok every 30 seconds until that a version is created that goes viral. And I just don't believe that's around the corner. If you wanted to do an interesting contrast, the folks over at Deepmind did a recent podcast, which I will link to in the show notes, where a Deepmind CEO, and that's Google Deepmind, which is driving the Gemini initiative, but they simply state, hey, there's a lot of work to be done before we get to a point where we have agentic AI in a way that it could drive significant ROI. And they didn't really put a time horizon on that. My own personal thoughts are in line with how Deepmind talks about agentic AI. I believe that their point of view is much more grounded. These things never happen overnight. I don't write AI code. I've been following this space, I guess you'd say, in all earnest since 2012, 2013. Probably before that, if you want to include predictive analytics, that would be like 07, 08. Looked for predictive analytics assets when I was running M&A over at a company called Solera, which was then public. Advised a predictive analytics company that was early to deploying machine learning around predictive analytics called Data Robot. That would have been 2014. And of course, this new wrinkle of artificial intelligence, Gen AI, which companies like OpenAI have been working on for years, but it's kind of gained public attention, let's say, over the past couple of years. And there's a lot of hype, in my view, around this space. I believe that when we do achieve agentic AI, it is going to have a step function up in productivity for the U.S. economy. I don't believe that it's just around the corner. I don't believe that every person, as Eric Schmidt said, will have access or have an AI agent. I don't believe that's around the corner. I believe there's going to be a cost to that. I believe the cost will be cost prohibitive for many people. So I don't expect, the 8 billion people across the globe to have an AI agent tomorrow or even in the next couple of years. But when we do achieve agentic AI, let's say in the next several years-ish, there will be a material ROI delivered to those people in those companies that are able to effectively deploy agentic AI. Much like today, I think the challenge then will be how creative can companies get in deploying AI? And frankly, it's a bunch of it's blocking and tackling that leads to a successful AI project. So you've got to have people on staff that know data, that know how to capture data, cleanse data, store data, that know how to label data for training purposes. In addition to having people that know data, it's important to have, on the business end, a well-defined project, right? So what is the outcome that we hope to achieve by deploying quote unquote AI, whether it's generative AI or agentic AI when we get there, machine learning, deep learning, an NLP project, whatever the case may be, that outcome needs to be well defined from a business use case perspective. And then once that happens, you can start to build the technical requirements that will underpin those business requirements. Right. So there's both responsibility on the part of the business user and on the technical end in order to deliver an AI project that works. But check out and compare and contrast for yourself the video from Eric Schmidt and his view on agentic AI. And then, as I said, I will link to the recent podcast from the folks at Google's Deepmind business unit. And they have what I believe is a much more sanguine view on agentic AI. That's all for now. See you next time.